I had a woman recently say to me, in theory, I know what to do. But at the end of the day, I cannot muster up any energy to do the things that I know will make me feel better. All I can do is work, get the things I need to get done at home, go to sleep, and repeat the cycle. If you can relate, let's talk. Hi, I'm Erica, and I help stressed out women heal their bodies and minds through science backed approaches and a little bit of woo. And sis, somebody needs to tell you that the reason why you are unable to do the things that will get you well, the reason you're unable to muster up the energy, the reason you are unable to stick with your routines, even though you know they will benefit you long term, is because biologically you're incapable of doing that. And what I mean is that you are chronically stressed. And so your mind, your brain, your body is focused only on the now. And as a result, anything that's longer term, anything that isn't immediate to your survival gets put on the back burner by your body and brain. It's not that you're failing, it's that your body is saying, hey, we are stressed out, we are in survival mode. And things like meal prepping, things like going on runs, things like resting, we can't right now. We can't because we need to focus on staying alive. And I feel like this is really important to say because so many of us were starting and stopping routines. So many of us are not understanding why it feels impossible to do basic health habits. But the reason for it is because your body cannot think about weight loss, cannot think about energy, increased energy long term, cannot think about longevity because those are long term goals. And when you're stressed out, when you're chronically stressed out, your body is dysregulated and all it can really focus on, unless there's some real concerted effort um, from the mind, all it can focus on is like what's right in front of it. It's all about saving your life right now. And as you're watching this video, you might be thinking, but this stuff isn't life threatening. The deadline looming, the uncomfortable conversation with a teacher, the uncomfortable conversation with a friend about a boundary, right? I know logically that those are not threats that are going to kill me. But here's the thing, your body sees a threat as a threat. It doesn't know that you're not running from a bear. It says, ooh, she feels a certain way about this thing. Mayday, mayday, turn on the mechanisms to keep us alive. And so you are primed, right, when you're in that state to just continue to be threatened. Because when you are stressed out and then you continue to be stressed out, your body really can't operate in the most logical of fashions. And this is why the wellness advice that's out there today is actually harming you because it's not taking your stressed out state into consideration. And what I mean by that is a lot of us, we see information about HIIT workouts. We see information about going all in with like meal prep. And we see those big jugs of water, right? Drink all of this in a day. And again, in theory, right, it makes sense. In theory, of course, these things should work. But when you're stressed out, working out the way that we've been taught to work out, like with HIIT workouts and cardio, that's all about pushing past your limits. And when your body's stressed out, it's looking to conserve energy to focus on the fight. And when you start to do those things that push you past, you're stressing yourself out more, which is pulling your body back further because it doesn't want you to do those things. It wants you to conserve energy. And when we are doing meal prepping, for instance, when we're trying to eat and go all in our health, like nutrition wise, your body's saying, oh my gosh, there's so much change. Also, this eating healthy thing, it doesn't work if I'm going to be dead on Tuesday, right? We're prepping on Sunday for a Tuesday we might not even know we're alive for. And so your body and brain says, nope, we're not going to do that. And then when you compile it with all of the mindset stuff of the stress you put on because you feel like you're not able to do it, right? It stresses your body out more and it gets more and more threatened. It gets more and more focused on the immediate. And then from the water perspective, like this idea that like you have to drink this much when your body doesn't even know if it can handle it because it needs to run, right? It can't take it in. And so we are being given protocols, wellness protocols that work for a body that's not in a stressed out state. Like running really fast, doing HIIT workouts, right? Pushing yourself past your limits puts on good stress to the body to then allow it to like regulate for when other stressors come in. But when you're already stressed, it's pushing on it further. And same with meal prepping. Meal prepping in theory is great. But when you're already stressed out and your body doesn't know if it can make it to Tuesday, your body's just going to shut it down versus the idea of picking like one good thing or one vegetable, right, to do a day. Your body and your brain, that's too small for it to be paying attention to. And so we have to have this dialogue because the information we have to get well out there is designed for people who are not stressed out. And you, my friend, if you're watching this video, you're still with me here, you are stressed out. And so the idea is, or so the question I should say that you're probably asking yourself is, how then, if I'm stressed out and hearing what you're saying, I get that I have a biology problem. I get that I'm in fight or flight. I get that my body doesn't feel safe and I'm stressed. Like, what do I do? And there are three things I want to share with you that you can do to work with your biology, to work with your body, to work with the state that you're in. That doesn't require a whole bunch of like that mindset work that I told you about. It's just working with your biology. And here are the three things. So the first thing, eating breakfast. Here's why it's so important. When you are stressed out, your body doesn't call for food. That's why you might be hearing this and being like, but in the morning, I'm not hungry. Of course, you're not hungry. Because when you're stressed out, your body doesn't want food. It doesn't want food. But when you put it in, you start to tell it, you start to establish the truth that it's okay. I am safe. Intermittent fasting is really popular right now. And the reason it's really popular, right, is because we're told it helps people lose weight, but and it can because it's placing on that good stress I mentioned earlier. But when you're stressed out, you need actually signals to come into your body that say I'm safe, and eating food regularly signals that, and starting your day with it is one of the best ways, because when your stress is high, your body thinks it's got to fight for its life, and so it turns off the mechanisms of digestion and all these things. But when you eat food and you eat it slowly and in the morning, your body's like, oh, and regularly, your body's like, oh, maybe the signal isn't true. Maybe we can calm down. And in fact, I have to switch anyways because I've got to digest this food. So the first thing you want to do is to start eating breakfast regularly. And just a quick caveat, when I say that, what I mean is a breakfast that's high in protein, high in fiber, and has a lot of healthy fats. That can look like an omelet, that can look like avocado toast with an egg, that can look like um, overnight oats with nuts and yogurt, right? It can look like that. But again, this is really helpful, and this really signals to your body and your brain, oh, maybe there's a disconnect about what's happening, and that starts to interrupt your stress response. Now, the second thing you want to do, or the second thing I recommend if you're really stressed out and you're looking to get your biology on board to be able to bring down your stress, use your body as a vessel, right? Tap into your purpose, because the body and the mind, they work together. And when this feels healed, this can calm down so you can get messages and things like that. The second thing you want to do is to move slowly. So in the wellness space, we talk a lot about, or right now we're talking a lot about somatics. And the reason why somatics is so popular is because what somatics does is it gets you in touch with what's happening in your body versus those workouts I talked about earlier, right? That have you push past your limits. Somatics slows you down to put you in your body. But somatics doesn't have to be, you can YouTube it for sure, but it can be a lot easier than what we think. And I think it's really important I share that out because yoga is somatic workout, right? Pilates is a somatic workout. Um, Walking slowly, being present can be a somatic workout. The idea is to move your body slowly. And the reason for this is because when your body's in fight or flight, it thinks it has to run, right? It's the fight or flight. When your body's really stressed out, when you're living in fight or flight, you think you're going to flee. When you slow down, when you get back into your body, when you are deliberate about your movements, it brings you back into this moment, and it and you put yourself back in this time and space reality. And that allows your body and your brain to see, oh, we're safe. And so a big thing is to do the opposite of what we typically say, which is to do a big hit workout, go for a long run, like CrossFit. Slow down. When you're stressed out, you have to restore communication between your body, brain, and your environment. And you do that by moving slowly, because moving slowly signals to your body we're safe, by way of making sure you are like by way of making sure you're aware of your environment. Right? When your body senses what's happening around you, it turns down the threat. So that's a really important and big piece in this conversation. It can be a somatic workout, but remember, somatics can be in yoga, it can be walking slow, it can be anything that gets you back into here. The third piece of advice that I mentioned, if we are looking to reduce our stress so we can get back to health and we can start to identify things that will feel good for our body, is to ground with touch. And so that can look like putting your bare feet on the ground. It can look like putting your hands in the dirt. It can look like laying on the floor. It's really getting yourself in touch with your surroundings. And the reason for this is what I had mentioned before when we were talking about moving, moving your body, and being able to pay attention to what's happening around. When you're grounded, when you're touching earth, right? Your body awareness in space, called proprioception, right? That it heightens it. And when you understand, when your body understands, oh, we're right here, right now, and nothing's happening to us, it turns off your threat function. And best, and here's the best part, it takes like 15 seconds, right? Putting your feet in the ground for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, that starts to slow your body down. It starts to get you back into it. And that allows your stress response to start to come down. Now, it might bounce back up 3 minutes later, but what you're doing is you're increasing the capacity in which you can be in a calm state by grounding, in which you are saying to your body, it is safe to be in a state of okayness, of in the parasympathetic nervous system, right? It's saying this is okay to be in the rest and digest. And so these are the three things I highly recommend if you are super stressed out, because again, we want to do all the things. We logically know what to do. But remember, when we are chronically stressed, when we're living in fight or flight, we biologically can't. And so our work is to bring our body back online, to make our body feel safe enough again to start to move in the direction to take the advice that we hear. And these three things that I just shared are wonderful places to start if you're stressed out, and you want to get well, if you want to heal your body and your mind. If this was helpful, go ahead and like this video, drop, or not drop, hit the subscribe button. If there's something else that you want to know about, please, please, please let me know in the comments. And I'm also going to drop a PDF that or a link to a PDF that shares other things that you can do to get back in touch with your body, heal yourself in very simple ways. So with that, thank you for being here, and bye.